Hello Mila, hello Jack, hello everybody else who's watching, and welcome to Storytime with Grandad. Today's book is from Postman Pat, and it is Postman Pat and the Christmas Baby. There was a lot of snow in Greendale. It looks like being a white Christmas, said Pat when he met Dr. Gilbertson one frosty morning. Yes, said Dr. Gilbertson, and I'm worried about the roads getting blocked. Never mind, said Pat. The post always gets through. Never mind your deliveries. What about mine? Said the doctor. There's something better than a parcel on the way. And it looks like arriving just in time for Christmas. Whatever can it be? Said Pat. Peter and Jenny's baby, of course. So soon, said Pat. Goodness me. A Christmas baby. Yes, you know how the roads block up on the hill, and there's that awkward corner by the barn. Don't worry, said Pat. Peter will be able to keep it clear with his tractor. I hope he can, said the doctor. We don't want the ambulance getting stuck when the time comes. Babies can't wait for a bit of snow, you know. Neither can I, said Pat. I'd better be on my way. Cheerio. Bye, Pat. Pat was on his way. The road up to Peter Fogg's cottage was a bit tricky, but Jenny was cosy enough, with a good warm fire and plenty of hot drinks. Peter was out on his tractor when Pat arrived, clearing the road with the snow plough fitted. Never fear, I'll keep it clear, said Peter. The snow seemed to get deeper as the day went on. Pat got his van through all right, with a bit of slipping and slithering, and a spot of digging out here and there. Christmas was getting near, and so was the time for the baby. Dr. Gilbertson popped in to see Jenny, and she had a good look at the road as well. Baby's doing fine, said the doctor, but what about that snow? I think we'll book the ambulance for tomorrow, just to be on the safe side. Then, if that road does get blocked, we'll be safe in Pencaster Hospital when the youngster arrives. Dr. Gilbertson was too late. It snowed all night. It snowed as never before. When morning came, the road was well and truly blocked. The snowplough got as far as the village, then it got stuck. Peter couldn't even get to the barn to get his tractor out. What were they going to do? The ambulance would be able to get as far as the village and no further. Alf managed to get his tractor out, and he went to see if he could get through to Peter's cottage. It was no good at all. The snow was just too deep. Alf and Ted and Pat, and everyone who could carry a spade, began digging to try and clear the road. They were halfway, then it began to snow again. As fast as they dug, the snow filled up again behind them. If we go on like this, said Alf, we'll all be trapped. We best get back to the village while we can, said Ted. They all gathered in the village hall to decide what to do. The Reverend Timms made some hot mugs of coffee for everyone, and they sat around the stove, looking out at the falling snow. Dr. Gilbertson came in to see if there was coffee to spare. This is really serious, she said. We'll have to get Jenny to Pencaster. Then Pat had an idea. Don't you remember, he said, that time we went up to George's place when he was snowed in? Aye, said Alf. We took a load of groceries up on that old sledge of mine. And came back at top speed, said Pat, laughing. And then another time, said Ted, you borrowed my skis to deliver the post. Sledges and skis, said Dr. Gilbertson. You can't take a pregnant mother on a sledge or on skis. Far too risky. But What if we could make a special sledge, said Pat. A big one, with a seat and a safety belt and brakes, so it wouldn't bump into anything. It would be smooth enough on the snow, smoother than the ambulance. Well, said Dr. Gilbertson. How long would it take to make one, said Pat. If everybody helped, said Ted, we could do it in a day or two. I've got plenty of wood and stuff, and Pat could whiz over to Pencaster on the skis if we need anything. You can use our pony to pull it, said Katy and Tom. It might be in time, said Dr. Gilbertson, and the ambulance could pick Jenny up from the village. I think we'd better give it a try. It was non-stop work from that moment on. The letters didn't come through from Pencaster, so Pat could help as well. What a sawing and banging came out at Ted's workshop all that day. Before it was dark, the sledge was ready for a trial run. It went beautifully. Granny Dryden saw it from her windows and thought she was dreaming. I never saw the like of it since I was a little girl, she said. They spent all next morning practicing with the sledge. Up to Peter Fogg's cottage, down to the village. It took the pony a while to get used to it, and they needed 2 for the uphill trip. Ted changed the harness to allow for this, and fitted an extra set of brakes, to be sure. At 2 o'clock, the ambulance was waiting outside the post office. 10 minutes later, the sledge arrived at the Foggs' cottage, with Mrs. Pottage driving and Pat working the brakes. Dr. Gilbertson wrapped Jenny up in warm blankets, and Peter helped her onto the sledge. All aboard, shouted Pat, and they were off. Slowly and smoothly they went gliding over the snow. It was so deep they went over the tops of the walls. There was no need for them to follow the twisting road. They just made a clear line down to the village. Everyone who could get through that snow was there to watch the sledge arriving. A cheer went up as they came into sight and stopped next to the Pencaster ambulance. Off went Peter and Jenny with a wave to all their friends. The baby was born 4 days before Christmas. Dr. Gilbert went in to see her in Pencaster Hospital, taking cards and presents from everyone in Greendale. What a lovely little girl, she said. Congratulations. What are you going to call her? Caroline, said Jenny, our special snow baby. And she'll be home in time for Christmas, said Dr. Gilbertson. She was, but only just. It was Christmas Day when baby Caroline came home. The ambulance came as far as the village post office. Pat and Mrs. Pottage had the sledge ready, waiting for Jenny and Caroline and Peter. There were piles of rugs to wrap them up and keep them warm. They all rode home together with their presents and a Christmas tree piled in behind them. The Greendale folk were there to greet them and wave them on their way. But there was something different about the sledge. Ted had done more work on it while Jenny had been in Pencaster. As the ponies pulled the sledge up the hill, there was a musical ringing sound out across the snow. Ted had fitted a set of bells he had found and polished up until they were like new. What a homecoming for baby Caroline on Christmas Day itself. This, said Pat, as they drove the sledge back to Greendale Farm, is one Christmas we will always remember. The sledge was kept in the barn at Greendale Farm for many a long year. Every Christmas when there was snow, Father Christmas arrived on it, with a sledge full of presents for the children of the Dale. The children had rides across the snowy fields, with the bells ringing out. Caroline Fogg sat in front with Peter and Jenny and had the first sleigh ride every year, just as she had that very first time she came home to Greendale. The end. Goodbye, Mila. Goodbye, Jack. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.